Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me. My name is Patty Duque, and today we're going to be talking about the importance of identifying your top 3 values and really living by them. So, what are values? Values are really your judgment of what is most important and what you consider most important in life. Now, we first need to really understand where these values come from. So these values come from how we grew up. So the culture around us, our parents have a big influence because whatever they thought was most important, they were going to teach us. So that's probably one of the ways how you can really identify what your top 3 values could be as well. Because if you do have a child, or if you don't, just imagine that you had a child and you had to teach them something. What would be your sort of top 3 things that you want to teach them? Yeah, because that then identifies what you want to pass on to others and how you would like others to live life as well. Doesn't mean that everybody has to live the way that you want. It just means that you need to be clear and you need to make sure that you're living by it. Now, just because we grow up with our siblings and same parents, same culture, same city, or same small country town, whatever it might be, doesn't mean that you're going to all end up with the same values. You might have similar top values, but not necessarily the same values. And it doesn't mean that one's better than the other. It's just that you have identified what's most important for you. But there will be some underlying values that will be quite similar because they do come from your family and your culture, and most importantly, your parents. Like your mom and your dad would have the biggest influence. Even your teachers would have a lot of influence in that, right? So what I find with my clients in coaching is I find that a lot of people have really conflict values. So they want to do something or they want to be someone, but their actions are completely different. So we need to make sure that not only do we know what our top values are, but we start living by them. Because that's the way how we're going to start communicating and the way we're going to start acting. Because really, values guide our behavior and our principles. Yeah? So what's the best way for you to identify what your top values are? Literally just sit down and identify what you want in life and then really think, what is most important for me and then fill in the blank. Is it your life? Is it in your health, in your life, in your business, if you have a business, or your career, in your partner, in your family life? And really start sort of getting a really good understanding of what is more important. And then once you have a list, start sort of trumping some from others. So is this more important than this, or is that more important than that? And then when you get to your top ones, make sure that you are living by them, meaning that you are congruent and you're aligned and your actions are aligned to it. Because when you really end up struggling is when you end up having that internal conflict, that value conflict that I was talking about. I see it time and time again with my clients. So it's, for example, I'll give you an example. When you're younger and when I first came to Australia, I was 20 years old. I wanted to be adventurous. I wanted to live life. I didn't know how long I was going to be here. I was certainly building my career, but I didn't want to be tied down. Absolutely no. So I did have a boyfriend at the time. And then I broke it off thinking, no, I'm going to go back. You're going to stay here. This is never going to work. However, time sort of passed and then I started valuing stability more. So whilst I was still in Australia, then stability was more important and family was more important to me. So he then represented that and he'd been there the whole time. So that's my husband, really. We've now been together for 10 years. But at the beginning, I saw him as him taking away my freedom. That freedom that was so important to me, that freedom that was my top value. I would say that now, freedom is one of my top values. It doesn't mean that it's freedom on my own. Is how can we have that freedom as a family, right? So he's now part of my freedom top value. Yeah. So for me, my top values would be that it would definitely be freedom will be up there. Vitality is absolutely my top value. Having that mind, body, and soul to make sure that I'm nourishing it every day, either my body, I do exercise every day. Doesn't mean that if I don't do exercise, I'm having a value conflict. No, you can also have cheat days or you can have treats, but you need to be aware of them. And if you're aware of them, then that means that you're just living by your top values. You've just chosen to do something different that time. Yeah. Love and connection, absolutely. Some of my top values, because that's where my family also comes in, my immediate family and my extended family and all my friends around that, and even my clients. So really, I want to invite you to spend the time and really define what your top values are and start understanding how you are living by them, or what do you need to change to make sure that you're aligned to them. So I hope you found this useful. Thank you for joining me again. Don't forget to keep mastering your mindset and harnessing your happiness. Thank you again. Have a great day. Bye. See ya.